Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking. We got another day and another set of spoilers for Murder at Karlov, Manor, so let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel for free. We're on Rumble. Lots of links in the description. Go check them out. Help support the stores and so forth and so on. With all that said and done, unless you're ShamWow, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with today. Lots of stuff not in English. That's what we're going to start off with. Anyway, Case File Auditor, a white and two for a 1/4. When the Auditor of Judicial Records. So Case File Auditor is probably not the correct. Anyway, whenever this card enters the battlefield and whenever you resolve a case, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal one enchantment card from among them, put it in your hand. Rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. You may use mana as if mana of any color to cast case spells. This is going to be a great card, not just with cases, um, but it says enchantment. It's also going to be great for sagas and enchantment decks. This is probably going to see a lot of play in Commander, even at common, or uncommon, sorry. Going to be great for limited. Probably going to be about it, but we'll have to wait and see. Next, we have the Unexpected Setback. 2 blue and 2 instant. The owner of target non-land spell or permanent puts that spell on top of their library. Um, it's 4 mana remand, but worse. I mean, I guess it can target permanents. It's fine for limited, but it's not going anywhere else. Next, we have the 10 Street Gossip. Green, red, and 2 for a 4/4 with Vigilance. That's already good, but you can also tap it for a red and green. You can only spend this mana to cast face down spells or turn creatures face up. This is going to be amazing and limited, and may see a slight bit of standard play if there is a face down deck worth playing. Because free mana is free mana, and a 4/4 for 4 with Vigilance is just good. Next, we have Dramatic Accusations. Does that send triplets? Anyway, blue and 2 enchantment. You enchant a creature. When it enters the battlefield, you tap the enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. For 2 blue, shuffle enchanted creature into its owner's library. Fine for limited. I mean, it's removal, right? Next, we have Krinko's Buzz Cutter. 2 red and 2 artifact creature, insect thopter, and a big one at that. It's a 4/4 with flying and trample. Good old Flample. When it enters the battlefield, for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, his controller may search his library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield tapped. This is amazing. 4/4 with flying and trample in red. Plus, it zaps non-basic lands if you want. This is going to be great in limited and standard in Commander. I don't know if it's going to be anything else, but this looks like just an amazing card. After that, we've got Flotsam and Jetsam. Oh, I love it. So, split mana, green, blue, and 1. So, for 2 mana instant, mill 3 cards, investigate. It's okay. Jetstream, black or blue, split twice and 4. So, 6 mana sorcery. Each opponent mills 3 cards. Then you may cast a spell from each opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a spell cast this way would be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. This is phenomenal. You mill your opponent, and then once something good gets in the library or in the graveyard, you just cast Jetsam, and cast whatever's in there. It's not from the 3 that you mill; it's from the graveyard in general. Man, oh man! And for each opponent, great in Commander. Wisp Drinker Vampire, black, white, and 2 for a 2/4 flyer. It's okay. Whenever the creature power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. That's pretty sweet. Black, white, and 5 colorless creatures you control with power 2 or less gain Death Touch and Lifelink to the end of turn. Hello. Great for aristocrats. Great for vampires. This could have some definite play in Commander. But honestly, that's probably going to be about it. Next, we have Insidious Roots. Black, green enchantment. Creature tokens you control have tap, add a mana of any color, because that's not broken. Whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 0/1 green plant creature token. Then put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. So this is going to be a deck in standard. This is too good not to be because you just start pumping things out left and right, mill your deck into your graveyard, remove things from your graveyard. Because it says cards. It doesn't say creature. It doesn't say land. It doesn't say permanent. It says a card. So any card can be removed. This is going to be great in Commander. Probably going to see a little bit of play if you've got the right stuff in Limited. This could be part of a combo for the older sets. Hint, hint. But I'll let you guys figure that one out. Anyway. Moving on, we have Fey Flight. Blue and 1 enchantment order. Enchant creature with flash. Enters the battlefield. Enchanted creature gains hexproof at the end of turn. Plus it gets +1, +0, and flying. Great way to protect your creature. Plus give it extra attack and flying. Great for limited. Might see some play in standard, but I doubt it. Blue's not known for the beatdown. So next we have Call a Surprise Witness. So white and 1, sorcery. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. Put a flying counter on it. It's a spirit in addition to other types. Basic card, good for limited. Maybe even commander if you're looking for more effects like this. Probably not going to do a whole lot in standard. Just the big mana spells just do so much more. Next we have Sanguine Survivor, black, white, and 1, flying, lifelink, 2/1, not bad, has disguise. So for 2 white, you can flip it face up. When it's turned face up, another target creature you control gains lifelink to end of turn. That's probably not good enough, but this is good enough for limited. So, Vengeful Creeper. That's what I was in high school. Anyway, 1 green and 4 for a 5/5. Good rate, disguise, green and 5. When you turn it face up, destroy target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. Fine for limited. It's not even good enough for commander, just costs too much, but limited okay. Rabble Belt Braggart, red and 4 for another 5/5. When it attacks, if it's not suspected, you may suspect it. So for 5 mana, you get a 5/5 that when you swing, you can give it menace and it can't block. So this could be great in limited, but sadly, probably the only place it's going to see play. Snarling Gorehound, 1 black for a 1/1 with menace. Sounds good. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, surveil 1. Very nice. May see some play in a couple fringe decks outside of limited, just because you want to put stuff in your graveyard. You can do that by putting, small power creatures on the battlefield, which some decks just do a lot of that. But other than that, not so much. Ballistica Stalker. Black and 5 for a 3/4 flying. It deals combat damage to a player. You gain 1 life and surveil 1. Very nice. I mean, limited all-star. Has disguise of a black and 4, so you can get it for a little cheaper. Limited at best, though. It's not seen any other play. We have the Furtive Courier. Blue and 2 for a 3/2. Can't be blocked as long as you have sacrificed an artifact this turn. And whenever it attacks, draw a card, then discard. Good for limited, but probably not anything else really. It might be good in an artifact deck. I'm not gonna lie, just so you can run through your deck. It's the Bubble Smuggler. Jesus, I can't even with this name. Anyway, blue and 1 Octopus Fish, 2/1. Not bad. When it's turned face up, you get to put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. So it's a 2/1 for 2, or you can flip it face up for 6 and make it a 6/5. Great for limited. May see a little play in standard, but again, blue's not known for the beatdown, so I doubt it. Next, we have Hazada Vigilante, white and 4 for a 4/4. When this Vigilante enters the battlefield or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control with power 2 or less. Limited. Next, we have Rune Mark Juggler, black and a red for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, suspect up to 1 target creature you control, could be this one. Black, red, and 3, sacrifice a suspected creature. Target creature gets -5/-5. That's really cool. In a token deck, in Aristocrats, it's in the right colors. For black, red sacrifice. I don't know if it's going to see play in standard. It's highly likely. Limited all-star, it's removal plus a creature. I mean, it's just too good. We'll have to wait and see if this is the way people want to go, but seems like it's a nice creature. Next, we have What Goes Around Comes Around. Well, it goes around, comes around. Anyway, So, for goes around, you got blue-red instant. Target creature attacks or blocks this turn if able. Not terrible. Comes around for a green-red split twice and 4 colorless. Creatures you control get +2/+2, gain trample at the end of turn. You may turn a creature you control face up. Really good. I mean, it's as close as we're going to get to an overrun. And this is 6 mana for 1 less power, but you have to flip something up. Because, well, let's be honest, overrun was just busted to beat all hell. Anyway, also, sorry about that. It's a blue or red. It's 1 mana to make something attack or block, so, yeah. Next, we have Officious Interrogator. Probably butchered that. Anyway, blue-white instant. This spell costs a blue and a white more to cast for each target beyond the first. Why do I not just use the kicker or whatever the hell that thing was? Anyway, choose any number of target players. Investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures those players control. Holy wow. This is going to be okay in limited. Probably really good, actually, depending on what's going on. Okay in standard. In commander, this is just badonkers. The only thing I don't like about this is if your opponent has a bunch of creatures, you're probably already losing, and this is not what you want to be doing. But in commander, when you may not be losing, but everybody else has tons of creatures, you can get tons and tons of clues. Also, notice it says choose any number of target players. You can target yourself if you want to win more. And hell, that may be an option. So it could make it good enough in a 2-player game because you target you and them and things go down. But again, blue-white, not known for the beatdown. But it's possible. This card's got some legs. Next, we have Detective's Bag. Red, blue, and 2 for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate twice. That's not terrible. Tap it. Create a 1/1 colorless top artifact creature token with flying. Activate only if you sacrifice an artifact this turn. This is disgusting. Commander All-Star, Limited All-Star, maybe even part of a standard deck. Because there's no activation to this thing. And you're going to get 2 clues to sacrifice and draw more cards. Plus, you put this in a deck that makes treasures. Sack a treasure, get a colored token, get a colored mana, tap this, make a 1/1. This card is going to be very powerful. It's going to see a lot of play in a lot of decks. It may not be amazingly good, but it's going to be abused in some way, shape, or form. And if it's not overpowered, people are still going to try because this is just nuts. Just the nuts. Anyway. Ambitious Falcon. 2 blue and 1 for a bird. Has flying. Whenever it attacks, gain control of target permanent you own and don't control. So that's cool. Get your shit back. Disguise is blue and 1, so you flip it face up. And when you do, target opponent gains control of any number of target permanents you own. You draw that many cards. Pretty sweet. You literally could flip this face up for 2, give your opponent a thing, attack, or flip it face up, give your opponent a thing, draw a card, attack, get thing back. I like this a lot. I think this is going to be a commander staple in blue decks. I mean, it's an artifact creature. It's blue. It does things and stuff. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to flip the bird? Get it? Disguise. Flip the bird. Anyway, that's going to be a meme, hopefully. Moving on. We have Hero of the 10th District, white and 1 human. For a white and 1, you can collect evidence 2, and it becomes a 4/4 human detective with vigilance. For a white and 2, you can collect evidence 4, and if this is a detective, it then becomes a legendary creature named Chief Inspector Maldiva with base power of toughness 5/5 and has other creatures you control have indestructible. So, here it is, the ability to level up a creature, and it's a white creature. Wow. This thing is going to see tons of play in, here we go, Limited, Commander, Standard, Pioneer, and any other deck that runs white, because 3 mana and evidence 4 is not hard. This thing is badonkers. Also, hey, look, it's a human. Look, human. Legendary creature named achievement spectrum on base power 5 and toughness. Destructible all creatures. Guess what? Human still, because it's a detective, doesn't change it again. This goes in the human deck in Modern. This has got to be a playable card. And it doesn't start off as legendary, so you can play 4, have 4 on the battlefield, flip 1 over, they kill it in response. Who cares? Start working on another one. This is going to be a hot card for humans. Standard, limited, commander. This thing is nuts. Should be a mythic. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Should be a mythic. I'm just gonna say it. Anyway, moving on. Expedited Inheritance. 2 red enchantment. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile that many cards from the top of their library until the end of turn. Until the end of their next turn, they may play those cards. This is just what Red Rush needs. A card that's 2 red that lets them burn through their deck. This is going to be in Modern, Limited, Standard, Commander, and any other format where someone's playing red and lots of creatures and are going to be forcing people to block. Because in Modern, in Mono Red or the Red White deck, Mono Red, take your pick. You lay this, you swing in with your 2/2. Oh, my opponent's got a 5/6 Loigoif. What will I do? I guess he'll kill my creatures and I'll mill 5 cards off the top of my deck and proceed to bolt them in the face for 15 3 times. This is going to be absurd and played very heavily. This might be a breakout card in the set. Maybe I'm wrong. I see crazy things happening with this that is just going to be, oh boy, yeah. All right, moving on. We have Yarus, Roar of the Gods. Red, green, and 2 for a Centaur Druid. God, he looks rough. Anyway, other creatures you control have haste. That's already pretty good. Whenever one or more face-down creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Wow. Whenever a face-down creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield face-down under its owner's control if it's a permanent card. Then turn it face-up. Huh? And it's a 4/4. Did I forget that? Did I forget it's got big fat ass on it? 4 mana, 4/4. Your shits get haste. And whenever you have a face-down creature hit your opponent, you get to draw a card. And whenever your face-down creature that you control dies, you get to return it to the battlefield face-down under its owner's control, which is probably going to be you because it's going to be your shit dying. And then, if it's a permanent, turn it face-up and trigger whatever ability it has. If it's a flip-up card. Holy cow. This just got real. This is going to be a whole commander deck. This is a new legendary creature for a commander deck of a bunch of face down stuff getting flipped face up for free because shit won't die. Yeah. This is going to be a great commander card. I mean, great for limited, 4 mana, 4/4. If it doesn't do anything else, who cares? This might make a standard deck out of these abilities. Like, this card's good. Heed my warnings. All right, we have Incinerator of the Guilty. 2 red and 4 for a 6/6 flying trample. Gotta love them flampling creatures. Whenever Incinerator of the Guilty deals combat damage to a player, you may collect evidence X. When you do, Incinerator of Guilty deals X damage to each creature and each planeswalker that player controls, because that's a thing. Limited All-Star commander card. It's a dragon. Come on. Could be pretty good in it will be good in standard if there's a deck that plays it well. 6 mana, 6/6 may be hard to finagle depending how fast the format is. But this thing is just boss. Because it has trample, it has flying, it will damage the opponent. If you got enough stuff in your graveyard, you will wipe their board. Alright, now we have the Evidence Examiner, a blue and a green. For a 2/2 at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may collect evidence 4. When you collect evidence, investigate. That's not really great. Probably at best, you're looking at a limited card, maybe a commander card, just because sometimes you don't care to lose stuff out of your graveyard to get a card to draw with. I mean, it is what it is, so we'll see. Next we have Surveillance Monitor, blue and 3 for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, collect evidence 4. Whenever you collect evidence, create a 1/1 colorless Thought-Their Artifact creature token with flying. That's it. I mean, limited, that's fine, I guess. for the most part. Other than that, I would rather. There's lots of other stuff I'd rather do. I'd rather collect evidence to do, and to a point, I want shit in my graveyard because I like using shit in my graveyard. Like that's a thing I do sometimes. Unless you're playing a blue beatdown deck, which doesn't happen ever. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Case of the Gateway Express, white and one. When this case enters the battlefield, choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So this is pretty much removal for white if you're playing white weenie, pretty sweet. To solve it, 3 or more creatures attack this turn. Yeah, that's hard. And then once it's solved, creatures you control get +1/+0. This is great for a white weenie deck. I think it's probably going to see some play. It may not be good to start with, but people are going to test it and see if it is good enough. So, yeah. Watch out for it. With that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. We went through a lot today. Until next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. God, that red card's ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Mock my words. Mock my words. $40 card is going to be in Modern. It's just saying.